Someone is sharing this information with you because they would enjoy being in a successful business relationship with you. Have you ever wanted to become financially wealthy where you could not only have all of your own needs met, but could also be in a position to help others? What are your dreams? Would financial abundance help you get there? If you're like most of us, the answer is obviously yes. This is a short presentation of a business model where we share both its benefits and its challenges. It's presented to you by the GPS team and was put together informally for the benefit of assisting the person who shared this with you to better convey the value of our network. This is a temporary tool prior to launching what we call the GPS system, which we will discuss shortly. Now then, did you ever stop and think that our lives are made up of only so many years, which can be broken down into weeks or even hours? Our most valuable asset is our time. And when we exchange it for money, this can be referred to as a one-to-one ratio, as there is no leverage of money or time represented in this situation. In other words, there's no multiplying effect where you can work less time and make more money, right? It's sort of like trying to move a big rock. You may not be able to push it with your own two hands, but if you use a large stick, you get some leverage to get the job done. Sure, we could get a second job, but would we rather work more hours or spend more quality time with our family and friends? A second job certainly doesn't leverage our time anymore and actually uses up even more of our most precious resource. Let's talk about an option that could very well be our solution to leverage not only our money, but also our time. What kind of a model would that be? One of the richest men of his day, John Paul Getty, once said, "I would rather make 1% on 100 people's efforts than make 100% of my own efforts." That's a pretty interesting statement. In other words, if we could figure out a way to get paid a smaller percentage on a larger pie, then our time involvement would not be so directly tied to our own results. To those who understand the true value of time, the power represented by this sort of leverage is the key to financial prosperity. As an example, our cell phone and cable TV providers have figured out a way to get a fee for a worthwhile product from a multitude of people every month. That creates for them a large monthly windfall, but obviously the astronomical infrastructure cost for something like this is way out of reach for the average person. What if we could also create a situation where we could obtain a relative windfall in our own personal lives without the need to lay out millions or even thousands of dollars? What if we could do that without a major monthly overhead and yet have the ability to earn personal incomes like some of the most successful businesses around? Let's say that you could figure out a way to become a middleman for an established company and make $10 per month per person from 1,000 people's consumption of a desirable product that they would have automatically billed and delivered to their homes every month. Your role was to simply introduce them to this company or product. That would represent a $10,000 monthly paycheck. What if it took you 2 to 3 years to build something like this, and then you could let go, and instead of your check diminishing over time because of your lack of involvement, it grew? Did you know that making 6 figures yearly would put you in the top income-producing categories in the world? Now look at the difference between you and the conventional business owner once you got to that point. Unlike the conventional business owner, you also just bought your time back because your involvement would be negligible, as your high income would have been achieved without employees, building leases, and basically none of the overhead and liability typically associated with conventional business. Now what if you didn't let go, but instead invested a few more years, and now you grew your consumer base to 10,000 people, again without increasing your overhead, and your check was $100,000 per month? Well, after some time, you pull back and truly live the John Paul Getty dream of having this small piece of a very large pie. Well, that kind of money and time leverage is the true value of network marketing. Today we're here to talk about this value as well as the challenges associated with the specific business model, because unlike any other program out there, what the GPS group has done is to keep the good and do away with the bad. Well, in network marketing, if you introduce two, who introduced two, who introduced two, I'm sure you can now imagine the potential power of building a large group of consumers on a product. It's no wonder there are millionaires made in this industry. Now, in conventional network marketing, you would be taught to make a list of all the people you know and through a professional approach, introduce as many as you can to the concept and then apply the rule of SW4, which is some will, some won't, so what, someone's waiting. And you move on to the next person without getting emotionally tied to the results. It's a matter of exposure. If they see it, then great. And if not, then next. As the saying goes, show it to some and you'll make some, show it to a lot and you'll make a fortune. This is precisely where the mathematical model of building a huge organization crumbles for too many. They may feel awkward in approaching their family and friends, and then of course there's Uncle Louie, who's never been successful at any financial venture, but of course is fully qualified to tell you all the reasons why it won't work. Well, first off, that's like someone who's never reached their fitness goals telling you why going to the gym doesn't work. Who would you choose as a fitness trainer? Someone who is physically fit or good old pot-bellied Uncle Louie? Same thing here. Who would you listen to? Someone who knows how to generate wealth utilizing the leverage represented in this kind of a business model, or someone who doesn't have an understanding of how to build a successful organization and is therefore not qualified to offer a valid opinion? Regardless, the stats are that the average person will sponsor only 1.8 people. That means that some will sponsor 0 and some will sponsor 100. There are those that will get momentum and end up with a few generals on their team who are very ambitious and credible, and the next thing you know is some degree of duplication occurs, and here come those $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, and $100,000 monthly checks. Once you taste of this once, Uncle Louie has just come too late for you. Unfortunately, too many never experience the success side of this business model. Sometimes the issue is that maybe for the first time, they're confronted with being their own boss, and as a result, no one is telling them what to do. If they don't get traction in a few months, they stop believing in themselves, and it becomes difficult to share the opportunity based on their own lack of conviction. Of course, it just can't be the person in the mirror, so it most definitely must be the fault of the company, the sponsor, or the industry. In this way, the industry sometimes gets a bad rap. Yet in the gym example, they don't blame the gym, its owners, or the treadmill. The reality is that only a few that join a gym ever achieve the higher levels of good fitness and physique. You get out of the exercise what you put into the exercise, and that all starts with a quality decision within. In other words, the battlefield is in the mind. It's no wonder that the industry promotes such great self-development and growth seminars in ways that are truly valuable. And at the end of that journey, the few that take that road will probably end up being better advertising engines for anything that they believe in. Now, all that sounds great if that's what your aim is. But what about everyone else? Do we just disregard them? If we're talking about getting a product to the masses, then doesn't it stand to reason that these masses matter? What would happen if every person that you introduced into this business model never ran out of people to talk to? All they needed was some ambition, the ability to follow directions, and a pleasant demeanor on the phone. What if you told them that they didn't have to talk to friends, family, neighbors, or coworkers, but rather they could plug into a proven system based on a mass media advertising co-op? The program would consistently bring you a flow of people who not only want to talk to you, but have also paid for the opportunity to do so after researching your program for a few hours. Then, once those people join your group, the system itself trains them on how to utilize the system. Well, here's the good news. That's exactly what the GPS program does, and then works towards training your entire group in a manner that is so duplicatable that we can now lean far closer to the concept of the penny doubling than ever before. Now, as marketers of products, we could market just about anything, whether it's canoes, donuts, ball bearings, or shoes. What the GPS leadership team has done is identify the trend of the baby boomer generation, where every 4 seconds, someone turns 50 years old. They want to look 40 and feel 30. The trends show overwhelming evidence that consumables in the health and wellness industry are a marketer's paradise, especially if the company has clinical validation regarding the value of its product. The criteria also included the need for a stable company that has stood the test of time and a compensation plan that rewarded us well for our efforts at every stage of the process. It was also very important for the GPS group to find a company whose ownership understood the value of a systems approach and not only be accepting of it. We looked for that certain someone who would actually embrace it. It made most sense that these factors would be the true basis into which we could plug our marketing program into. After interviewing many companies, the perfect combination was found, and the partnership began in the fall of 2011. The company chosen was Vemma, which is a Scottsdale, Arizona-based company that fits the criteria. Not only do they have the perfect clinically validated health and wellness formula, but they also have a healthy energy drink that competes in the multi-billion-dollar energy drink industry. In addition to that, they also have their yummy-tasting children's formula, which is a superior nutritional supplement to Flintstones vitamins, and the soon-to-be-released breakthrough weight loss product called Body. The product line fits a very wide demographic indeed. Just how good is this product? Well, in addition to clinical validation, as well as overwhelming anecdotal evidence, when Dr. Oz was recently asked, "What vitamins do you take?" he replied, "I take Vima." Vima stands for Vitamins, Essential Minerals, Mangosteen, and Aloe, and is the basis on which all these products have been formulated. The company itself is stable, stood the test of time, and now has a reach into 59 countries. We also found the compensation plan to be very generous, in that there are thousands earning an extra $500 to $2,000 per month, as well as those earning six figures monthly. The owner, PK Borrego, is not only a very likable gentleman, but his vision is to take Vima to be the next billion-dollar company, and believes in the power of systems. He especially believes in the power of our system. Now, just so there's no confusion, we're not talking about door-to-door sales, merchandising product at swap meets, putting product on store shelves in your barbershop or beauty salon, or about selling to your friends or family. We're also not talking about some illegal pyramid scheme here. What we're talking about is merchandising the products of a top-rated company who sold $96 million in clinically validated products worldwide last year and has impacted thousands of lives for the better with both better health and wealth. The GPS program will empower us to build a large consumer base on the Vima product line by offering people the value of a stay-at-home business that they can work either part-time or full-time, and through this process, themselves become consumers of this amazing product line. In other words, people will be coming into your Vima business by way of the GPS program that utilizes mass media to attract those that are interested. The program is designed to filter each prospect through a series of steps, so by the time you talk to them, they will have already invested approximately $39 and 3 hours of time researching this home-based business venture, and they're eagerly waiting to talk to us as a representative of the system. Of course, we won't get 100% results, but with an investment of both time and money, well, on a mass scale, you just can't get a better lead than that, period. Then as you enroll them into Vima, they also start duplicating the process. They complete their online GPS training, and your organization grows, and you start receiving your checks from Vima. Now, you might be wondering, if we don't need to talk to our friends, family, and acquaintances, then why is this information being shared with me? Great question. We're preparing to launch our system in the next few weeks, and our media partner has secured our first few rounds of advertising and will be heard on radio shows like Sean Hannity, Glenn Beck, and Rush Limbaugh, who alone has an active audience of about 22 million on any given day. Obviously, a few people can't handle the thousands of leads that will come as a result of this, and the point here is that we need a core group of people right now to help us initially launch this program. Once you better understand our system, you'll want to position yourselves with us for first mover advantage prior to massive growth. They say timing is everything in business. Well, there's a lot of opportunities in life, but this one is right here, right now. We're going to ask you to make a decision now. For those who want more information, we're about to share a website address with you. If you're serious about making a change in your life for the better, then we ask you to learn more, and if not, we thank you for taking the time to allow us to share our vision with you for a brighter future.